Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Monday. Good morning. It is a new week, almost a new month. Tomorrow is the 1st of November. We know that. And good morning. Come on in. Say hello. Let me know if you're a man, put in a number 1. If you're a woman, put in a number 2. And good morning. Good morning. Say hi. How you doing? On a scale of 1 to 10, how you doing? 1 being not so good, 10 being great. How y'all doing? Good morning, pretty lady. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Janet. Good morning. There's a 10. Good. 12. All is well. Come on now. Come on, Janet. We got to get you up to at least a 6 before we get off of here. A 10, Santa. Good morning. I like your hair. Thank you so much. Good morning to my subscribers. I love y'all. I love your support. Thank you. Good morning, 10. Your inspiration. Good, Tony. Come on in a 10. A 9. We good today. We good today. Good morning. Good morning. I'm trying. It's okay. That's all you can do is try. Needle moves. We're not trying to get you to a 10. We're trying to get you one number up. That's it. Good morning, my brother, Jonathan. I see you. Good morning. Good morning. A 10, Tony. I see y'all. Are y'all doing good on a Monday morning? Good, good, good. So let's get started with my message for the morning. The message is, you're not stuck, you're staying. And some of y'all ain't gonna like me for this because you have 2 feet. You have a opportunity to make a choice to change your situation. I know I feel better after listening to you. Oh, thank you so much. Good. So a lot of us are in unhealthy relationships. A lot of us are in unfulfilled relationships, unfulfilling relationships, and we're staying and we're saying we're stuck. You're not stuck, you're staying, right? And I want you to understand that you have a choice. You have a choice to move your feet. You have a choice to make better decisions. You have a choice to strategically plan, because sometimes we stay, right? And we say we're stuck, but we're actually staying because we don't want to jump out of the frying pan and into the flame. And I get that. That's why we must learn that strategic planning is important. You don't have to just leave a situation. You get to plan. You get to take your time. But we're around so many people who will tell us, if it was me, I would just leave. Or you need to do this and you need to do that. I'm here to tell you, you're not stuck, you're staying. But you can plan strategically to get from where you are to where you're trying to go. Whether it's a personal relationship, an intimate relationship, or whether it's a job situation. You don't have to just quit your job. And let me say this. A lot of people are entrepreneurs now. And it's kind of popular to be an entrepreneur. But let me tell you something. If you like your job and you like a check every Friday or every other Friday or every month or however you get that direct deposit, don't listen to these folks talking about you should be an entrepreneur if you don't want to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. There are some extreme highs and there are some extreme lows in being an entrepreneur. So if you're not good at your finance, if you're not good at saving for a rainy day, being an entrepreneur is not for you. It's a it's a great thing because you work for yourself, but it's a real struggle if you don't strategically plan, because you will be stressed the hell out. And I just wanted to tell y'all that. But you're not stuck, you're staying. These are some things 3 things you need to do. 3 things you need to do. Just to understand you're not stuck, you're staying. 3 things you need to do. Stop complaining. Be solution based, right? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of your own problem. You have to figure out what it is that you need to do. So if you are in an unfulfilled, unhappy relationship, if you hate your job, stop complaining and find a solution to your problem, okay? Find a solution. If you don't want to be at that job, if you don't want to be in that relationship, if you don't want to be in that friendship, you find a solution, a strategic plan to get out of that situation without hurting yourself, right? That's number 1. Number 2, stop compromising. Yep, stop compromising. Stop compromising your integrity. Stop compromising your morals and your values to stay somewhere. Stop compromising you. Put you as a priority. Your morals, your values, what you need, where you need to go, how you need to do that. Do not compromise the things that matter to you most. Now, we do need to compromise in some areas. But when it comes to compromising your dignity, your integrity, your morals, your values, and your character, stop compromising to be in relationship situations, jobs, and to move forward. What's for you is for you. If you work diligently, if you are being the highest, best version of yourself, it will come to you without compromise. Because when you compromise, it's like a microwave. You know when you make microwave food, you know you got to eat it fast. You know you got, because it's either going to get cold or it's going to get hard. Can you give him a snack? It's either going to get cold or it's going to get hard. But that quick fix is not good because you're compromising, right? Because you don't want to take the time to cook on that stove and let that food marinate. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to let that food marinate. All right, leave him alone. It's okay. Just put it on the table and give him some juice. If you let that food, that stew marinate, you know it's going to last longer. You know it's going to taste better. You know it's going to be better. It's the same with relationships. Stop compromising. Especially compromising your peace. Hey, peace, I see you. Good morning, Michael Strickland. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I appreciate you. Remember, Michael, since you're a subscriber, you can inbox me directly and ask me any questions, business, personal, whatever it is, something you may want me to talk about. You have direct access to my inbox. So if you need help with something, whether it be business, just let me know. Marketing, promotions, I don't know what type of business you're in. If you're stuck in your relationship, if you're unhappy, unfulfilled, I'll give you some tips. It won't be long because, you know, I'm a coach. So if you want further insight, you would have to do coaching. But you do have access to me. Good morning, sis. How are you? Hey there, H-Town boy, another one of my subscribers. Good morning to you. If you need anything, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, you can inbox me directly. Even after this topic, if something hits you and you need to talk a little bit more about it, I will send you a blurb or some more information or some more tips to get you through this. And the last thing, the 3 things. Number 1, stop complaining. Number 2, stop compromising. And this one right here is really big. Number 3, make a choice in your life. Not making a choice is making a choice, and some of us don't know that. The topic is you're not stuck, you're staying in unhealthy, unfulfilled relationships, jobs that you hate, and you're acting like you're stuck in a situation and you're not. And it's time for you to stop complaining, stop compromising, and make a choice. If you don't want to be there, start strategically planning to get out of there. If you want to raise, start strategically planning to get a promotion. Everything is a strategic plan. Oh, yeah, I'm very self-aware. Oh, that's good. Drink your coffee. Yeah, because you know my coffee going to get cold. My coffee get cold every day talking to y'all. But then I just go warm it up when I get off. I just started my budget last week. Good, Royal. Stay on that budget. And this is one thing, too. Let's be kind to ourselves, right? If we get off of our budget, we just get back on. Strategically planning. Yes, it is so key. The co-parenting coach. Strategically planning is the key. Yes, I've been trying to inbox you about my financial business I'm trying to promote. Where'd you inbox me? Where did you inbox me? Do you have graphics? Is it an LLC? Is it a corporation? Is it a financial business that's already developed, or do you need to get an LLC? Where are you in that process? Just send me an inbox. You can send me an inbox right on TikTok because we're friends. I friended you. All right, so, and this is to the friends and the family around the people who are in unhappy, unhealthy, unfulfilled lives, relationships, or jobs. If you love them, this is big. If you love your sister, your cousin, your best friend, whoever it is, your husband, stop letting them complain to you. When they come to you and complain, you need to shift their energy into a solution-based mindset. You need to shift their mindset and say, listen, I know women who go to their girls and they just be complaining about their man. I'm not that friend. You could talk to me. You could really talk to me and say, you know, this is what's going on, and I'll be an ear. But if you keep complaining about something that you're not willing to change, I'm going to gently course correct the conversation and say, hey, let's talk about your business. Hey, let's talk about something else. Hey, let's talk about the children. Hey, let's talk about something positive. But if your friends allow you to complain to them, they want to see you lose. Friends who don't, get you some friends that's willing to compromise losing you for a season to get you out of a bad season. Shift the mindset on repeated negative talk. Okay. You have to get around people who don't stay in a negative tone. And a lot of times we are around people who are on common ground with us. So we're used to going to them complaining, and we're used to them listening to us. But I want to shift your mindset as a person who I want to elevate. If those people are constantly listening to you complain, those are not your people. Now, when you get around people who constantly shift your energy and say, I understand, but it gets better. So what's next? That is your next conversation with the people in your life. Anybody who comes in your life who's complaining, who feels like I'm stuck, but they're staying, I want you to say to them, I understand, but what's next? Now, y'all coaches, I understand. I get it. I empathize. I sympathize. I understand. But what's next? We're not talking about that no more. I remember one of my cousins, right? Years and years ago, my mother was very sick, right? My mother passed from breast cancer 16 years ago. And one of my cousins would come over all the time because she was family. And she would complain about her ex-husband all the time. He had cheated, moved on, and all this other stuff. He was just not right. And we're not talking about men. We're talking about this one man in particular that was not right. So my cousin would come over and talk to me and my mother, and she would be complaining. And my mother looked at her one day, and my mother was sick. Like, my mother, breast was removed, chest was wide open. So my mother knew that we were really in the process of praying that she would live, but understanding that today might be my last day. Let me tell you what my mother looked at her and said. My mother was tired of her complaining. And my mother looked at her and said, my cousin will attest to this. She said, first, listen, I don't want to hear this no more. That man is somewhere sticking his, and she said the D word, and somebody else. Let it go. He's somewhere sticking in somebody else. And I promise you, that raw truth in that moment with my cousin, she never mentioned him again. Sometimes you need people around you that's straight no chaser. That I said, whoa, because I would have never thought to say that because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. But my mother said that, and it shook her out of her, I'm stuck in this despair. I'm stuck in this anger. It shook her out of that. She wasn't stuck. She was staying in that mindset. My mother told her straight up. So get you some people around you that will tell you straight up. He over there sticking his in somebody else. And you still talking about him? You still living in that? He not even with you. He don't even talk to you. He with a whole nother woman. And you still talking about that? So when your friends and family who are in relationships that are struggling, that have been coming to you for years, months and years, talking about he do and he ain't, and I'm gone, and just say, you know what? Okay, I hear you, but guess what? Let's talk about something else. Because I'm here for something else. I'm here for success. I'm here for growth. I'm here to prosper. And you bringing me down. And you don't have to be mean and rude and nasty about it. You could just shift the conversation and say, hey, you know I started a business, right? Or you could tell them, I understand what you're going through. You should get your journal out and you should write this because this is a book. You should get your journal out and you should write about this because, girl, this is a whole book. But you know what? You shouldn't tell everybody all of this, and you should really, really just start moving forward, and journaling will help you. You got to shift people's mindsets around you because those very people that are complaining, compromising, and not making a choice around you, if you don't shift their mindset, you will adopt their behaviors. You'll be sitting there complaining too. Girl, I know my lights and this person and he and that. No, that's not what we do over here. So I wanted to come on here and share with you today. To anybody who feels stuck, you are not stuck. You're staying. Because you are not a tree. You are a human for a reason with two legs and an active mind to make some decisions, to move forward, to get around different people. This for somebody on here. I don't know who it's for, but you need to just get around some different people. You comfortable with the wrong people. Your business is not growing because you're dependent on your family to buy from you. Your book is not moving because you're sitting around not promoting it. Get around some different people. You are stuck because you're around the wrong people. Thank you for subscribing. If you just subscribed, does it say Sherman? Sherman, put your hand up so I can follow you, so you can have access to my inbox, so I can follow you, and then you can go in the inbox. You can ask me whatever you want to ask me. And also, Sherman. Oh yes, let me follow you. Hold on, y'all. Let me follow Sherman real fast. Follow. Also, Sherman, make sure you send me your email address, because around November 15th, I'm going to do a small masterclass on Zoom for my subscribers. And we're going to talk about life, love, business, whatever y'all want to talk about. And along the journey, I'll bring some of my professional friends in once I see what the common need is, which is usually a common need. I'll bring my friends and my business partners and my business friends to come in, my super friends, to teach us. And I'll get webinars from them that I can show you that I've paid for. I'll get their permission, of course, but I'll share it with you guys since you subscribed. So again, I'm not going to keep y'all long. Just get you some people around you that will not let you stay stuck. I got people around me. I could come to them and I can have a problem, and they'll be a sounding board, right? And they'll give me the opportunity to empathize and sympathize with me and to lick my wounds. But then the people around me, hey, Atlanta, Georgia, then the people around me, they say, what next? And how can I support you? But what you're not going to do is you're not going to talk about him no more. What you're not going to do is you're not going to keep complaining about that job like you're stuck there and you're staying, but you're still getting that check every week. But you coming to us at the girls' night in, and you coming to us at the birthday party, and all you doing is complaining. If you don't like that job, you need to start sending out your resume. If you got skills and gifts and that job is using you and they doing this and you doing this person's job, you need to get up out of there. But don't come over here complaining no more. We heard you. And again, we don't talk to each other like that, but we snap each other. We like, girl, so what's next? How can I support you? Do you need me to reach out to some people? I talk to my friends. You don't like your job? Go on LinkedIn and put your resume out there. If somebody, your resume not nowhere, but you complaining every day. No, strategic planning. And my friends, we have, when we get together, we have basically masterminds, because we start talking about what we're doing. And if somebody's in a negative, we pull them back in. And we love on them. We understand it's a rough period in your life. But as long as you're complaining and compromising at your job, doing other people's jobs, and you're not making a choice to decide whether I'm going to stay here and go to HR and talk to them about this person who's not doing their job effectively and how it's affecting me, then you are the problem. You're your own problem. You are not stuck. You're staying because you're benefiting from it. You getting that check. You getting that $1,200 every 2 weeks. That's worth your peace of mind? Is the risk worth the reward? Is the job worth your peace of mind? But don't come complaining to us 6 months later. You still having the same complaint. In that relationship, I know you love her. I know you love him. But if all you doing is complaining about that relationship and nothing is changing in a year or 2 years, it has run its course. And again, I'm not saying you got to leave the relationship, but something has to change. Are y'all in couples coaching, counseling? Are y'all praying together? Has anything changed? Because complaining ain't going to get that relationship no better. So if you don't want to be in that relationship and your money is funny, so you stay in there because he pay half the rent, you pay half the rent, strategically plan. How many more hours do I need on my job to get out of this hell I'm in? What do I need to move forward? How do I need to strategically plan to make sure that I'm going to see my kids on a regular basis when I move out of here? I'm going to move 15 minutes away so that I can have the luxury of being in the same school district of my child so we can have joint custody. This is strategically planning. So me and old girl, we can have joint custody. So I can have him 1 week on and 1 week off because it's not disturbing his schedule. I can pick him up from school and bring him to school in the morning because I strategically plan to live 15 to 20 or 30 minutes away just so you have a little space. But that the judge will say he lives close enough to drive him to school, or he lives close enough for the school bus to go to two different. The schools work with co-parenting. So you're not stuck, you're staying. Stop complaining. Life is happening at 100 miles an hour. Lick 2 days, lick your wounds. That's it. 48 hours. Talk about it. Work through it. But stop complaining. If that person is not treating you well, you need to have a real conversation with that person to say there will be consequences to your actions. If you can't treat, if you cursing me out, you not stuck, you staying. Ain't nobody cussing me out no more. I'm not cussing nobody out. Ain't nobody cussing me out. School district. Stay right in the. I'm strategically planning is a thing. So many of us move on our emotions. We move too fast. You don't have to move too fast. You don't have to move out like today. I did this over 20 years again with my kids. It was a good choice I made then. Good, yes. I tell all my clients this when we first start, the first thing I say to them, to take off the pressure, because this is actually the truth. You don't have to decide your life in one day. As long as you're making needle moves, as long as you're taking baby steps and you're not stagnant, you don't have to take a giant step. You don't have to leap off the building. Just stop complaining, stop compromising, and make a choice. The key to this is just having movement, strategic, smart moving, good decision making to say, if I move out the house today, here's the pros and here's the cons. If I move out the house and we own this house together and she goes to court, she's going to tell the judge that I abandoned the property. So you don't want to just jump up and move. You want to talk to an attorney to say, if I move out today, what is my chances of losing the house? We are in a battle zone right now. So I'm trying to figure out what's best for me. I'm sleeping in another bedroom, but we still screaming and yelling. I want to go and stay with my mom or my homeboy, or I want to go stay with my mom or my homegirl. But if I move out of this house, am I forfeiting my right to have part of the house? Because different states have different laws. So don't just jump out of the frying pan into the flame. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you have made a solid decision that this job is no longer good for me, for my mental health, I need to start doing X, Y, Z. I need to start sending out my resume. I need to decide if I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I need to work. When I get out of work, I need to strategically plan 4 hours for my business. I know it's hard because you work in a 9 to 5. But if you plan those 4 hours to work on your business because you don't want to go work for nobody else, what's the plan? If I want to get out of this marriage, this relationship, what's the plan? Do I need to start moving my stuff to a storage unit a little bit at a time? So when it's time for me to move, everything is already in a storage unit. The only thing I need to do is take my clothes. Is my paperwork in order? What's the plan? But stop complaining, stop compromising, and make a choice. You're not stuck, you're staying. And that's all I wanted to come on here and say today. And thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my newest subscriber. I appreciate you so much. And if you need anything from me, there's a link in my bio with all my information. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. Coaches get you from where you are to where you want to go. If you want to take a deeper dive, please just schedule a session and we'll talk about if I'm the person for you. And if I'm not, I probably know the person for you. I know several coaches, and the coaches that I roll with and the people that I roll, we send people to other people. Everybody's not for me. Some people come to me for coaching, they need a therapist. So I have therapists that I work with So I say you need to take this person's number and you need to speak to them because you're having an issue that requires a therapist, and that's above my pay grade. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm a certified life and relationship coach, and I stay in my lane in that area, okay? Because people's minds are at stake. So if you reach out to me for coaching and I feel like you need to go to a financial expert, I send you to a financial expert. If you suffering with your money, I'm gonna tell you I can't. That's not my specialty because I'm suffering with mine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you say, my problem in our marriage is we fight about money. Y'all don't know how to budget. I'm not gonna be able to teach y'all how to budget. I can help y'all work on and elevate your relationship, but we're gonna need to bring a financial coach in for you guys so that y'all could get your money right, so y'all can stop fighting, so y'all can have a happy home again. So I don't take all clients because all money ain't good. So any questions? Let me see. Hey, Veronica, therapist suggestions in Jacksonville, Florida would be great. Go on. Have you Googled that? Have you Googled? And when you Google it, put in specifics of what type of therapist you want. First, you know what? If you schedule a session, Veronica, I would be more clear on what it is that you need, because all therapists ain't good for everybody. Like you may have to go through 2 or 3 therapists to get what it is that you need. A lot of times people go to therapy one time or coaching, like, oh, that didn't help. Well, you only went one time. Coaching and therapy is like medication. You got to let it get in your system. It takes time. It takes months. It takes months to work through some things that you put yourself in, some things that you got into. So it's not like you're going to go to one therapy session and they're going to be the best. And then sometimes you go to a therapist and you know this is not your person. Like I work with a company for that specifically has Black coaches and therapists. Specifically, right? And then sometimes you don't need therapy, you need coaching. A lot of my clients who go to therapy, when they come to me, they say, I thought therapy wasn't helping, but I was going to therapy for the wrong reason, right? And then a lot of my clients, they can relate to me. Sometimes if you go to say you're a white woman and you go to a Black woman therapist, she really don't know your struggles. You know what? It's a different culture. Like, sometimes you got to go where people know how you feel. But I think I'm afraid to just go to anyone. Don't be afraid to just go to anyone because you're not stuck with them. You understand? You're not stuck. You could say, okay, thank you so much for this session. And maybe say, let me go to another session to see if I was just nervous the first time or we just didn't click, right? So for me, I do a free 15-minute coaching consultation with my clients, and then we decide on the package, right? I have packages, and a lot of people take the package. I offer 3. That's my smallest package, 3 sessions, because I don't do one session anymore, because you don't know if I'm good for you. I don't know if I'm good for you. We don't know nothing in one session. So I allow 3 sessions, and we do the 3 sessions, and then we know if I'm the person for you. And if I'm not, you don't lose anything. I don't lose anything. Thank you, ma'am. Say that again so others can hear you. You gotta be consistent with some things. Like if you don't take your medicine, you're gonna be sick. Like if you're not consistently doing it, right? I use a lot of essential oils, right? I really like essential oils rather than pharmaceuticals. That's just me. So I'm consistent with the essential oils that I use. In the morning, I diffuse peppermint oil every day. And it wakes me up. It uplifts me. It uplifts everybody in the house, right? I have oils that I use for my neck, and I use them on a consistent basis because if I don't want my pain to get to 100 before I do something. I will reach to you later. Okay, Sherman, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. So again, if you have a bad back, right, and your doctor prescribes something to you, which I'm not promoting, of course, this is just an example. And your doctor prescribes something to you, says, you have to take this in order for the pain to be managed. You have to take this every 4 hours because we don't want you to get back to 100 to where you have to start all over again to manage the pain. But so many people are not consistent with taking it. So they're in dire pain to start all over again when all they have to do is be consistently taking their medicine every 4 hours. So the pain doesn't get to a point where you can't manage it. It's the same thing with coaching and therapy. You have to go consistently in order to see results. We start with a goal and we start working on it. So we start strategically planning to how we're going to get you there. And then we talk on a weekly basis. Sometimes clients, they want to talk twice a week, 3 times a week, depending on where they are. And we work through some things, and then we come together once a week and we say, what worked, what didn't work? What task did you complete and which task didn't you get to and why? And then we start to figure out you got too much on your plate. That's why you didn't get to that. It's enough time in a day when you strategically plan your day to do everything that you need to do. So we have a to-do list, top priorities. What are your top priorities? What needs to get done today? Because the other stuff, if it's not a priority and it could get done on Friday instead of Monday, we put that on the bottom of the list. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You got to understand. Thanks, Tracy. I am feeling better about my day. Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm so glad you're feeling better about your day, Janet. Good. I used or using BetterHelp app. It's easy to get in or change therapists if it's necessary. Good. Thank you for the resource. I appreciate that. He said he uses the BetterHelp app. Good. Thank you for that resource. It's the Mrs. Ept, or is it Mr. September 15th? September 5th. Thank you for that. I love resources. I'm not mad at resources because the real thing is, some people will get mad and say, why would you put that in there when she's a life coach? This is her business. Some people can't afford a life coach. So the BetterHelp app, if it's free, I want y'all to get help. And then when you can afford me, Mr. September, thank you. Because it says Mrs., could have been Mrs. Ep, but Mr. September. So if you have free apps, because I use like the Abide app at night to go to sleep. It's a Christian-based Bible app, but they tell Bible stories. It just helps me unwind. I never hear the stories because I'll be asleep within 5 minutes once I put 5 or 10 minutes once I put it on. But it's a free app. This is not a money grab. This is about people really healing and getting the help that they need. Now, if you want a deeper dive and you can afford to work with me, that is awesome, great, and I love it. But if you can't, if I was in a space where I just couldn't afford stuff, I wouldn't want nobody to shut me out because the situation that I'm in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I love when people get free resources for the people who cannot afford. And some people just don't want to pay. I mean, you'll probably be thinking you're stuck when you're actually staying. But if you can afford it, I encourage coaching because coaching will get you there faster. The app I used or using, the app, BetterHelp app. That was the name of it, BetterHelp app. And sometimes some need therapy prior to coaching and vice. Yes. Yep. I just said that. I need both. Yes. Well, get on board. Don't talk about it. Be about it. That's another problem that people have. The law of diminishing intent. My coach taught me this. There's this thing called the law of diminishing intent. Do it now because as time goes by, you're not going to do it because it's the law of diminishing intent. If you don't do it 1 day, 2 days, it passes by, you feel like I missed the boat. If you need coaching, do it. Do one session. Invest in yourself. And then if it doesn't work out, but y'all will go out on the weekend and spend $150 on drinks to have a headache and be dehydrated, but you'll say, I can't afford a coach. The one that you listen to. Abide. It's called Abide. They have a free version and a paid version. I have the paid version because I be doing too much. I don't even need the paid version, but I felt like I needed it because I didn't want to miss out. What is it called? FOMO? Fear of missing out. I have FOMO when I got the Abide app. I thought I was going to miss out on something if I didn't pay for it. And it wasn't expensive. So I was like, I want all my perks. and I really don't need it. And I probably need to cancel the subscription. Thank you so much. But I'm like, hey, I need to see what I'm missing. They got a paid version for a reason. That's just me. Yes, please get it. It will help you so much at night if you can't sleep. Again, I never make it through the Bible stories. I always say I'm going to listen to it during the day so I can hear the Bible story because they're good Bible stories, but I never do. I never make it through it. So any more questions before I go? Because it's almost 11 o'clock and I got on at 10:05. Any questions, comments, thoughts, reactions? Hit the subscribe button if you want a little deeper dive to meet with us once a month. That might be for you. My EAP pays for 15 sessions of therapy, including BetterHelp. BetterHelp offer payment plans. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Are we still slaves? Don't come in here with that mess. 15 sessions per year. That's awesome, Mr. September. That's awesome. And I hope that, each person that has access to them paying for it, that they actually take advantage of it. That's the funny thing. Us as people, we will have a company that will pay for us to go to therapy, and we still won't go. Yeah, we will have and we still won't use them. It's crazy. Use all your resources. Yes, ask your employers about EAPs. And that's another thing. Yeah, one of my girls, we was just at a seminar at a expo this weekend, and the girl was selling glasses, said she uses EAPs from the job. So I didn't know about that because I'm an entrepreneur. I have and do. Good, Tony. I'm so glad. Please use all your resources. And another thing, if you don't have that, invest in yourself. Take that money that you be taking every Saturday to go hang out with your girls or your boys. I don't take EAP. Take that money that you be hanging out with, buying shoes and pocketbooks, brothers buying cigars and liquor, going out and hanging out and spending $400 a month. Listen to me. $400 or more a month on hanging out and invest in a life coach. It'll change your life. It'll double your salary. But you taking $400 a month, which is $100 a week, on hanging out and stuff that ain't growing you or nothing. Seriously, when you go out and have a martini, it's $15 for one. And you don't mind paying for four. And in the morning, you're going to wake up with a headache. No return on investment. And you're going to go do the same thing next weekend only to complain about you're stuck. No, you're not stuck. You're staying and you're spending your money on stuff that brings you no value. But you won't pay for a therapist or a life coach to get your own life right, to get a strategic plan together. I'm just saying. And they're free from my employer. That's great. Good morning, gorgeous. Needed help. Good morning, Renee. Good morning. I see you. Yes, investment in ourselves as well as others. It's a blessing. Yes, because wellness is an investment. Better. Yes. Do you work with couples? Yes, I do work with couples. I work with couples, and I have a lot of success with couples. And I love marriage. I love couples. I love healthy relationships. So again, invest in yourself. I invest in myself. I'm not a materialistic person. I'm a person that at my age, I'm 52 years old, and I wish I knew this when I was 42, that a return on investment is so important than a purse. My income has tripled since I started working with a coach many years ago because I just did not have life skills. Like I was just out here floating. I wasn't strategically planning. I didn't have goals set, weekly goals, yearly goals, monthly goals. I didn't have a to-do list. I was just out here like, whatever. And if that's working for you, cool. But 9 times out of 10, it's not working for you. And all you need, you really need to invest in yourself. With BetterHelp, I'm able to do live audio, video, and chat sessions. In addition to, you can DM them. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I'm telling y'all, get the help that you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to get it. And some of y'all can afford it. Y'all just ain't doing what y'all need to do. Truth, I have to do better in planning and investing in myself. Come on, Sherman. Sherman, inbox me. Sherman, listen. Life is so much better when you have goals set, a strategic plan, and accountability. I become your accountability partner. Like I said, we meet once a week and we go over what it is that we plan to do for the week. And we figure out the stops and blocks. We figure out what worked, what didn't work. We figure out what we need to take off your calendar. And we put dates on calendars. Let me tell y'all something, how to be successful. And this is a freebie for y'all because I'm not coaching y'all. But this is a freebie, how to be successful. Stop talking about one day, someday, and put a date on the calendar. So I hear people say, I'm going to write a book one day. One day ain't never going to come. One day ain't never going to come. I'm going to write a book, and my first draft is going to be done on January 1st, 2023. My first draft. Like I said, needle moves. I'm not saying my book going to be done, my illustration going to be done, I'm going to have a publisher. No, I'm going to write a book, and my first draft is going to be done January 1 of 2023. So you have something, a goal and a date, right? So then we strategically plan how we're going to get you to write that first draft. So I'm going to write on Saturdays for 4 hours and on Sundays for 4 hours because I work a 9 to 5. And I'm going to track my words to see how many words I've done. So we set a goal and a date. Not someday, one day, maybe then. On January 1st, 2023, I'm going to have my first draft. And the first draft is going to be the first 100 pages. And this is how many words it has to be. Then I'm going to Google books in my category. Not because I want to do a book like anybody else, but I want to see what best practices are when you're writing a book from professionals who have done this before. So I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. Because a lot of us get stuck because we're trying to recreate the wheel. How you do this. Somebody done did it before you. Google University is your friend. If I am writing a book about a children's book, I'm going to Google who are the top children authors. 5 of them, the top 5. And I'm going to look at what their blueprint. Who was their illustrator? How much should this cost me? How much do I have? This is called strategic planning so that you don't fail. And the only way to fail is if you stop trying. So we're going to fail forward. So we're going to plan this. We're going to go look at the top 5 children authors who have successful books, who their illustrator was, who their publishing company is. Am I going to self-publish? Do I want to do this myself? Okay, so that's enough for y'all. The rest of y'all got to pay for the rest. Intentional. Yes, set an intention and a date. Yes, goals and accountability is very important. Yes, Christian. Yes, it is. Thank you. Now let me be quiet. You can DM anytime. You don't have to be quiet, Mr. September. We're all good over here. How can I find a good life coach for me? I am a good life coach, top fighter. And if I'm schedule a 15-minute consultation with me, it's free. It's on my website. Everything's the link in my bio. If I am not the life coach for you, after we talk, I will suggest somebody to you. Okay? So that's how you find a good life coach. Any more questions before I go? Any more questions? Thank you for following. Thank you. Thank you for the likes, and thank you for my subscribers. Again, to my subscribers, I have followed each and every one of you, so you can inbox me any questions you may have, right? And I can give you, like, if I don't have an answer for it, I can figure that out for you to see who has the answer. And if you want to take a deeper dive, we could talk about that too. Hey, Dr. Ja, thanks for being a subscriber. I see you. I love the way they have my name next to y'all names when y'all subscribe. That is so cute. Laughing out my wife and I need you in our lives. We watch your live together. Well, come on, Rich. Rick? Is it Rick or Rich? I see RICCH. Come on, schedule a session. That's all. And get it going. The law of diminishing intent. Don't talk about it, be about it. Schedule your sessions. See where it goes. Do it for your anniversary. I've learned sometimes the time comes to switch therapists or be referred. Yeah, sometimes you do have to switch your therapist. For real. Hey, you are gorgeous. And sometimes you got to get a different coach, right? So say, for instance, I coach you and I get you from where you are to where you want to be. And now you started a business. you still can coach with me, but you probably need a business coach now that we've built your business. Because all of my clients end up building businesses. They call it side hustles, but they end up building a business. And then they go on to talk to other coaches that I know who are business coaches, finance coaches, because we want to keep growing and growing and growing. One of my clients, she done started a podcast. And I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this because she's an introvert. This girl has started a podcast since we worked together. She emceed a whole event last week and killed it. These are things that she never imagined in her life she would do. And she's just like, oh my goodness, like, I can't even believe I'm doing these things. And I'm like, yeah, because now she has multiple streams of income. She never thought. She has a podcast called The Introvert Expert. Yeah, go find her podcast. And she killing it. All because she had somebody that she came to, and there were gifts inside of her that we cultivated along the journey of her healing from some things and working on some things. Some other things showed up that she didn't even know. And my other clients, I'm a 65-year-old woman that you are helping never get too old to learn. Never get too old to learn. Sometimes you may have to see multiple therapists. Yes, you will. And my other, the women who are part of my membership, I have a membership. You can go to anewyouNation.com for women. anewyouNation.com. And I have 6 women in my membership, right? They host a show with me on Monday nights, the Woman to Woman show. They like, I'm not hosting no show. I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, you're a host. Let's go. And they're doing so much outside of the box. One of my strengths is, and one of the girls that's in my membership, her name is Netta. She teaches strength training. Like, she helps you tap into your strengths. And I took a strength training test. And my top strength is activated. I activate people. People come to me and they be just doing stuff that they never thought they would do before. They like, I didn't even know this, because I tap into their gifts. And then we cultivate it. And then they go somewhere that they never thought. Their lives be really unrecognizable. They just be like, wait a minute. I'm going to share my client's video of her MC. And she called me. She was so sad. She's like, oh my God, they asked me to MC the event. She's on the board for domestic violence committee. Nonprofit. And she was like, oh my God, they asked me to host. I was like, why are you surprised? You're articulate, you speak well. What are you doing? And you have hosted some Zooms with them. Of course they asked you, because that's what we do. So, oh wow. Okay, so let me go. I want to start a domestic violence class soon. Okay, Janet, Janet, do it. Just Google is your friend. Go to Google, see what they're doing in the domestic violence in your area, and just tap in. You don't even have to, they don't have to see you. If you just tune in, you will find your place where you fit in, but you have to move your feet and move forward. You are not stuck, you're staying. Even if it's just staying and being complacent and not going out and expanding your horizon, your network. You know what I'm saying? Just go out to a domestic violence event. Buy a ticket. They have them for $20. Some of them they have for free. Just show up. Have you always been a good speaking and articulating your thoughts? No, I haven't always been, Jennifer. This is, speaking is a skill and you can develop it. I want to get better at this. Well, come on, Jennifer, you can. Don't be afraid. You have to practice. You really have to practice speaking. Like, a lot of people hate Wendy Williams. I love Wendy Williams. That's my friend in my head. That really is my sister in my head. And I pray for her every day. But Wendy Williams is a personality. She had a talent that she cultivated, speaking, articulating, engaging the audience. People think they could just be speakers when really it's a gift and a skill that you have to really work on. Like this, I've always been naturally good at speaking, but for years and years and years, I was very shy, very, very shy, like wanted to blend. And then a person came to me and asked me to do some interviews for their magazine. And I was like, why would you ask me? Because she was like, oh, I love your personality and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. But she opened that door for me and I trusted the process and I did it. And ever since then another magazine came to me and said, I need you to host and interview celebrities. So I was like, well, okay. Because sometimes people will call your gift out for you and you just have to walk in it and not be afraid and practice. I was listening to NPD abuse survivor speaking about being stagnant, delayed due to ruminating. Yes, exactly. I have the urge to coach, motivate, and help others, but I see myself as shy. Well, you got to come on out, get coaching. I'm telling you, Jennifer, just get coaching. But I don't want to be laughing out loud. Just get some coaching. I hate what happened to Wendy. I hate what happened to Wendy too, but I'm praying for her. I'm really praying that Wendy just turns this whole thing around. And let me tell you what happened to Wendy, and it's what's happening to a lot of people. This is why I am so passionate about what I do in the relationship field, right? So if you haven't taken my broken heart syndrome assessment, right? Are you suffering from a broken heart, right? Because a lot of people are not progressing. A lot of people are not winning at life because they are suffering from a broken relationship. And that's what happened to Wendy Williams. They are treating Wendy for thyroid. And I know she needs all of her stuff for Graves' disease and thyroid. But Wendy is suffering from broken heart syndrome. And nobody is. I reached out to her people. I reached out to her brother. I sent her brother an inbox because this is what I work with, people who are stuck in broken heart syndrome, right? So it's real, and she's really going through this, and nobody wants to acknowledge that it's not her thyroid that's causing her the mental anguish. Her husband that she committed to, loved, honored, cherished, would have given her life for him, betrayed her, and it psychologically damaged her. And people are not seeing that cycle. And this is what I do because it happened to me. And it took a lot for me to dig myself out of that hole from the man that I love, that I let in my soul, places that only God should have been, betrayed me. But I was able to dig myself out of that hole with coaching and counseling and the right people saying, recognizing. And I talk about matters of the heart, because if your heart is not right, your business ain't going to be right. Your money ain't going to be right. Your relationship with your kids and your friend, family out is not going to be right until you get this thing right. She's suffering from a broken heart. And what happens, and I told you all this before, I don't know if you saw this, but I got to go, is when you suffer from a broken heart, get this, because some of y'all might need me for real, because you don't know why you stuck. Listen, a breakup is the death of a relationship. And when something dies, you grieve just like when you grieve just like a real death, like somebody really died, right? Listen, losing your job is a death. You're grieving. You lost your job. So this is what happens to people. This is what happened to Wendy. You get stuck in a phase of grief because the ultimate goal is to get to acceptance. She has never accepted the fact that her relationship with her husband is over. She has never accepted the fact that she was broke down. She's gone through the stages of grief and she's stuck in denial. So she's living in a fantasy where I'm telling you, I study this stuff. This is what I do so I can help my clients. She was stuck in anger, but she got past that. Then she was bargaining with God. Please bring my husband back, please. So she's stuck in a cycle of grief and nobody is mentally understanding. And it's so frustrating to me. I literally pray for Wendy 2 times a day. Because I know she's dying in front of us from a broken heart. And I'm like, yo, can y'all just stop pumping her with medication and sending her to wellness centers and somebody have a real goddamn on conversation with her? Like my mama said to my cousin, that man is sticking his penis in somebody else. We don't want to hear about this anymore. How can we help you? How can we support you, Wendy? It's time. You are thebomb.com. Not him. He didn't make you. You made him, girl. Let's go. Let's get this work done. I have a program called the Recovery Room. It's 5 modules that deals with daddy issues. It gets to acceptance. Come on now. Some of y'all stuck in a phase of grief and you don't even know it. This is why you can't move forward and live your best life. Indeed, dying from a broken heart. It's real out here in these streets with the broken heart syndrome. These is a lot of women out here killing themselves, killing each other, stuck in anger. No, somebody got to work you through that to say, listen, it wasn't you. I love Wendy. That is my sister in my head. Like, I really love Wendy. People gave her such a bad rap for doing her job well. How y'all gonna be mad at her for doing her job well? And everything Wendy ever said was facts. Whoever she was talking about, her people told her what to talk about. She ain't go out here picking these stories. She worked for a company that said, we gonna talk about Michael Jackson today. And this what we gonna talk about. She was just good at the delivery and people was mad at her. She did the same thing Howard Stern did. She did the same thing we all doing on social media now. And especially people who got these platforms where they tearing people down, exposing people. TMZ. Y'all exposing people's business. Mind your business. That's what y'all was telling Wendy. You need to mind your business and stop talking about people. All these companies out here exposing people and minding other people's business. And now y'all done crucified Wendy on a stake. Y'all done stuck her up and all this other stuff. And now y'all letting everybody else do it. Get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I love Wendy Williams. I just went on a tangent. Y'all wasn't going to stop me from going on this tangent. I'm sorry. That's what Mrs. means, her birthday. Everyone grieves differently. Yes, everybody. I'm acceptance now, but still miss her. But that's what it is, Mr. September. Listen. Acceptance does not mean that you cut off your emotions. Acceptance does not mean that you let the person off the hook for hurting you. Acceptance is the fact that you don't have control over the situation and you're not going to let the situation control you anymore. That's what acceptance is. Acceptance is I've moved forward in this. I accept this and I know that something better is coming for me. It doesn't mean that I let that person get over. It doesn't mean that I don't love myself. It means that I accept that I don't have control over what is going on in that person's mind, heart, and soul. And I only can control me. So I choose to release myself from a situation that I no longer have control over. And I walk forward and stop looking back at the things that have hurt me and look forward to a future of greatness and better for myself. That's what acceptance is. And so many people think accepting is you letting the person get away with it. No, that's not what that is. You're torturing yourself when you don't accept the situation that you have no control over. You're in just emotional turmoil. You're just in emotional turmoil. Oh my goodness. You're just killing yourself when you don't decide to accept situations and circumstances that you cannot change. So you got to let that go. And I'm big on that. And I told this story before, and I'll share it again. I lost my brother in 2020 in a unexpected motorcycle accident. Never in my life. My brother is 1 year older than me. I'm 52. He died when he was 52. Never in my life would I thought I was going to get that phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning from his wife to say that he was gone. I just got chills thinking about it. And in that moment, I don't have a spouse. And I'm here with my two boys. They're in the bed sleeping. And it was the most devastating feeling I felt in my whole, helpless, devastating, emotional, every emotion in my body. All the adrenaline was pumping. My head started hurting. I felt numb. And the only thing that saved me in that moment, and this is real talk, the only thing that saved me is I had to say to myself, I had to accept. There's nothing you could do about this. Now, you could get up and start screaming and possibly have a stroke, aneurysm, heart attack, or whatever. The kids are in the other room. You could lose it. You could run outside. You could start calling a million people. Or you could sit here and you could breathe and understand that you can't bring him back. And I just sat on the side of my bed and I was just breathing and I was thinking, there's nothing that you could do about this situation. There's nothing that you could do. If you do a whole bunch of crazy nonsense, it's not going to bring him back. You know the Lord, and God does not make mistakes. This is me talking to myself. This is me saying, this is how acceptance works. You can decide how you want to respond to this, but you have to accept the fact that there's nothing you could do about it. So just calm down and breathe, because I felt myself about to go crazy. But that moment of acceptance gave me a level of peace to where I didn't lose it that day. Now, don't get me wrong. I cried and I was emotional. But in that moment, to protect myself, and I'm a Christian, I just completely accepted, Trey, there's nothing you can do about this. I'm going to need you to calm down. Thank you so much. I know it was, you know what? And again, the acceptance of it was his time. He served his purpose. And he left this place doing what he loved. So I called my coach, Dr. D.C. Marshall. She'll tell you. I called my coach when it was a decent hour. I think at probably around 6 o'clock in the morning. I called her. I texted her and I said, could you please call me? I lost my brother in the tragedy and I don't know what to do. She called me right back and she said, listen to me. What are you thinking right now? And I said, I just hope that he didn't die in pain. Like, I hope he wasn't mangled. And, she was like, come on. She said, bring it back in. What was he doing? I said, he was riding his motorcycle. He loved motorcycles. She said, so we're going to reframe this. He didn't die in pain. It was instant. And he rolled that motorcycle into the arms of the Lord. His wings came out and he rolled into the sunset, how he would want to. He wasn't in pain. She said, you could frame this however you want to frame it in your mind. You could picture your brother mangled on the side of the road. Or you could picture him going to the Father's arms peacefully, heavenly, on his motorcycle, doing what he loved the best. And that's the people you got to call. You don't want to call the people that's screaming and hollering on the phone with you. You want to call somebody who could bring the perspective back to a manner that is going to calm your spirit. And I pictured my brother riding his motorcycle into the clouds, and it was sunny and beautiful. And then when his wife called us a few days later, after they, the next day she called us and she said, this was the most powerful thing I ever heard after my coach talked me through about a half an hour, 45 minutes of how this thing could look for us. His wife called me, and y'all could check this out. This is not a made up story. This is some real stuff. She said, you know what? Your brother didn't have a mark on him. His spine was severed and he passed away immediately. But when I tell you, they said there wasn't a mark on his body. It was one mark, they said, and they think it was right here from his glasses hitting from his helmet. They said there was not one mark on his body, that he immediately was gone. Now, if I had let myself go for them 48 hours before she found out all of this, I would have pictured my brother mangled, bloody, dead on the side of the road, carcass, motorcycle on top of him. They said he hit a curve and he hit a rock and lost control and the bike ejected him. And he died instantly without not a mark on his body, not a broken bone except his spine. So he didn't even suffer or anything. So it's all perspective and acceptance of what it is that you can control, how you can control your thinking. You don't have to picture something so drastic, and you got to call the right folks. Please don't call the sister that's going to be screaming and hollering and yelling and cussing and running and knocking over the coffin. Please don't call her, because she's going to take you to a space that you don't need to go to. Call the people who are going to make it better for you, who are going to calm your spirit and your mindset, and say, let's just chill real quick. So I hope that was helpful. But anyway, acceptance is the key. Doing what he loved. Yes. This is so deep and powerful. It's just the truth. Yes, Janet. And when we're in these relationships where we are hurting, if we just accept the fact that the person no longer wants to be in a relationship, if a person is treating you bad and they have access to you, right? It's a privilege to be in my life. It's a privilege for anybody to be in my life. And it is our job to remove people from our life who abuse the privilege of being in our life. It's a privilege for me to be able to talk to you on this app. And if I abuse that privilege of you allowing me to come through your phone, you block and delete me. You don't let me disturb your peace. That is the power that we have in our lives. That if we are in a relationship where a man or a woman is disrespectful, yelling, screaming, cussing, hitting, beating, staying out all night, cheating, can't be monogamous, that person is showing you that I don't belong in your life. And if you keep them there, it's not them, it's you. I know what I deserve. I know right from wrong. I don't need nobody to tell me that. I know what's going on in my house. Now I can listen to things and podcasts and TikTok and all. I can listen to all of this stuff. But me and him, we the only people that know what's going on in this house. Me and my kids, we the only people that's know what's going on in this house. And we're not giving everybody the whole story because some of the story is so embarrassing, we don't want to talk about it. But you know when somebody ain't treating you right. They don't deserve access to your life. And it is your job to remove them. And it's going to hurt. But guess what? You heal. You feel better. You're never going to feel better if you're staying in it. You're never going to feel better if you keep going back to it. You're never going to feel better. Just think the process of a broken heart. A breakup is the death of a relationship. And the process of healing, it hurts along the way. But if you stay consistent, you get the right people around you to support you and walk you through it, it gets better. And on the other side, ain't nothing but peace of mind, a better person for you, but you have to know your value. You have to know your worth. You have to know when to walk away. It's not giving up. It's never giving up. Some people don't deserve access to you. If you are being good to somebody and you are being the best, highest version of yourself, and they choose to not treat you equally as well, or they choose to not be the best, highest version of themselves, honey, it's time to move on. It's time to let them go. And some people, you're not going to let them go forever. Some people, you have to let them go to let them grow. And my mother used to say, you never miss your water till your well runs dry. Sometimes people have to be, you can't enable a person into loving you. You cannot enable a person to love you. They will abuse you because you're enabling them to abuse you. When you set boundaries and you set a standard of what you ain't gonna do. And it took me about 45 years to get to what you ain't gonna do. And here is that when you get to that level of respecting yourself, the folks around you will respect you. When you get to the level of setting boundaries, the folks around you won't cross them. When you get to the level of having non-negotiables in your life, of I don't accept that from anybody. If you ever do that, you will no longer ever, never, ever have access to me again. Those are the non-negotiables. Sometimes boundaries will get crossed. You can allow a person to let them go and let them grow. But non-negotiables mean you'll never have access to me again. So that person understands in that marriage, these are my non-negotiables. If you put your hands on me, if you cheat on me, and if you are addicted to anything, you will never have access to me again. Those are my non-negotiables. And if you don't love the Lord, those are just my non-negotiables. Everybody, some people can deal with cheating, right? Some people, hey, he cheated, we're going to work through this. Some people could deal with addiction. I can't. It's a trigger for me. I've done that dysfunction. I don't want to do it anymore. So those are my non-negotiables. So anybody that crosses those lines, they never have access to me again. Now, some things, you did that to me, I'm going to give us some space. I'm going to let you go to let you grow, to understand that it's a privilege to be in my life. You don't abuse the privilege and think I'm going to open the door for you to come in here and do that to me again. But go get yourself together. Give me a call when you go get you some therapy. Give me a call when you get you a coach. Give me a call when you have some self-awareness and you come back to yourself. and we could talk, and we'll see if your behaviors have changed. And if you do that again, then I'll remove you and I'll sit you in the back row again until you go get your whole entire life together. So when you get to that point of what you not gonna do, what you ain't gonna do, folks will respect you on another level. So if you're staying in a relationship that is unhealthy, unproductive, causing you stress, mental illness, it's not that person anymore, it's you. And you have the right to give them a season of separation, because sometimes we don't let people go because we feel like we're punishing ourselves. Because I love this person, I want this person in my life, and this is so harsh to let them go. It doesn't have to be forever. This is a season, you could tell yourself, this is a season of separation. I just need to see this person and go get the help that they need. I need to let them work on themselves. And 9 times out of 10, if that person values you and really loves you, they're going to go and get their ish together. And you'll be able to allow them space in your life. But if you continue to let them abuse you, manipulate you, and treat you bad, nothing's going to change, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Now I'm going to get out of here. I want to Cash App you some money. What is your Cash App? You have helped me so much. My Cash App is $Trey Kearney. $Trey Kearney. TrayKearney. And if you don't remember, it's in my bio on here, but it's $Trey Kearney. And thank you so much for honoring my time. I really respect that, Janet. Anybody else have any questions? I need that written everywhere as a reminder. That was gold. Thank you so much, Mealy. Thank you. Yes. Hey, Auntie. Hey, Simone. I'll see you at 12:30. Yes, I will see you at 12:30. I got your appointment on my Zoom. I'm looking for that peace within. Yes, that peace starts inside of you. I repented of my sins. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior. Now the Holy Spirit is in control. Amen, Pedro. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Call the ones that aren't afraid to shout and praise at the casket. I'm not the... Right. Good morning, beautiful young lady. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I did have a great weekend. I really did have a great weekend. I have really made a priority. I have really made spending time with my friends a priority. So I went to a women's expo with my girls, and then we met up with another friend. And the 2 friends I was with didn't know my very good friend from childhood. So it was so nice to see them interact and like each other. Because, sometimes women could be catty, and not my friends, but sometimes personalities don't mesh and people get funny and strange. And then there's some one person is talking to me and one person, I got to sit in the middle. But they enjoyed each other's company, which was so refreshing to me. And I didn't have to be there. I could have left and they still would have had a good time, because it wasn't about me. So I was happy that we all came together and we hung out, and we got this joke, one drink joke. Like, we all said we was going out for one drink, but it didn't happen like that. How do we end up here? And they all wanted to blame me, but it really wasn't me. But it was okay. So I love y'all. I gotta go feed my child, and I did not preheat the oven for his chicken nuggets, so this might be a problem. But if you need me, go to my website, please. www.traykearney.com. www.traykearney, TrayKearney. And just check out my website and see if you want to coach with me, if you just want to send me a message of love so I can share it. And let's just be happy together. And it's a choice. Happiness is a choice. And again, my Cash App, for anybody else who wants to sow a seed, is $TrayKearney. I love you guys. And remember what I tell you at the end of all my broadcasts. You deserve the best. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve the best. Now go get it. Peace and blessings. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all soon. God willing. Peace. Y'all. And I'll see y'all soon. God willing. Peace.